Alright, so next up we've got Charlie X. Let's go. The USS Enterprise meets the Antares to take charge of Charlie Evans, a sole survivor of a transport ship that crashed on the planet Thasus. For 14 years, Charlie grew up there alone, stranded in the wreckage, learning how to talk from the ship's computer systems, which remained intact. He is to be transported to his nearest relatives on the colony Alpha 5. Crew members of the Antares speak praises about Charlie, but seem pleased to see the boy removed from their ship. After the transfer, the Enterprise unusually hasty goodbye and depart. Charlie undergoes a medical examination by Dr. McCoy. He tells the doctor of the crew of the Antares to not like him very much, and that's all he wants is for people to like him. The Antares gets nearly out of sensor range and transmits a warning to the Enterprise, but the message cuts off before it can give the warning. Shortly after, Spock determines that the Antares has blown up. Charlie quickly becomes obnoxious and shows signs that he possesses strange powers. First, he develops an infatuation with yeoman Janice Rand. He presents her with a bottle of perfume, which turns out to be a favorite scent. Having observed a man in engineering seal an agreement to go to the recreation room with a slap on the rear, he does the same to Rand. Charlie meets Rand later in the rec room, where Spock plays Vulcan Lyrette and Lieutenant Uhura sings. Charlie's annoyed with being subject in Uhura's performance, as well as Rand paying more attention to the song than to him, so he causes Uhura to temporarily lose her voice. In an attempt to get Charlie interested in a woman his own age, Rand introduces him to yeoman Tina Lawton, but Charlie only has eyes for Rand and brushes her off. Later, Kirk tries to teach the young man how to fight. Sam, Kirk's training partner, laughs at one of Charlie's falls, but Charlie makes him vanish before Kirk's eyes. Shocked, Kirk calls for security guards to escort Charlie to his quarters. Charlie says that he will not let them hurt him, and then makes their phasers disappear. Charlie admits he used his powers to destroy the Antares, says that the ship would have blown up on its own sooner or later, and insists they were nice to me. Charlie discovers Kirk's plans to divert from Alpha 5, takes control of the Enterprise. He forces Spock to recite Earth poetry, turns Tina into a lizard, and chases down Rand. When she resists his advances, he makes her disappear. Charlie then goes on a rampage, hideously transforming or vanishing crew members at will. Meanwhile, a Thasian ship approaches the Enterprise. The Thasian commander appears on the bridge, saying that his race gave Charlie his powers to help him to survive on their world. These powers render him too dangerous to live on Earth. The Thasians return Yeoman Rand and repair the damage Charlie has done, apart from the Antares. They promise to take Charlie to live with him. Charlie begs Kirk for forgiveness and pleads with him to not let the aliens have him, that they don't feel anything. Despite Kirk's statement that Charlie belongs with his own kind, the aliens take him. Yeesh, those are some really rude aliens, aren't they, huh? Anyway, let's look at the production history of this story. The premise for this episode formed part of Gene Roddenberry's original March 1964 pitch for Star Trek, under the name The Day Charlie Became God. When the series entered production, Roddenberry assigned it to Dorothy C. Fontana to dramatize. It is similar to Jerome Bixby's award-winning 1953 short story It's a Good Life, filmed as an episode of The Twilight Zone in 1961, with the immaturity and emotional conflicts of adolescence substituted for those of the 3-year-old changed to a 6-year-old in The Twilight Zone in Bixby's tale. Charlie Evans has much in common with Valentine Michael Smith from Robert A. Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land, which was printed 3 years before the pitch for Charlie. For a while during production, the episode was known as Charlie's Law, a name which survived in the James Blish adaptation of the episode for Bantam Books. In the script, in a scene in the script which did not air, Charlie's Law is stated as, "You better be nice to Charlie, or else." Gene Roddenberry made an uncredited audio cameo as the cook or mess officer, who exclaims that the meatloaf in the ship's kitchen's ovens has turned into real turkeys. Wow, that's a pretty wow, that's actually pretty interesting, isn't it? Anyway, a really good story, an interesting plot. So overall, I give Charlie X 4 out of 5 warp cores. Well, anyway, join me next time as we delve into the second pilot for the series, where no man has gone before. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.